Alright, well the work day is over for Gambler. This is where I work full time for Gambler Lures. I work out of the office down here in South Florida about half the year, then the other half of the year I'm up in Maine or on the road. Work day is done, so now the fun begins. Back home I'm a little bit more organized than this, but on the road, kind of living out of my truck lately, living out of friends' houses, living out of the office till I can get on the road for the tour. And it's like controlled chaos right here right now. So what I do when I'm here or before any tournament is I like to take everything I have out of the truck, out of the boat, bring it all in, go through everything. I'm redoing my line, I'm getting all my rods ready right now. I've gone through most of my tackle already, make sure I got new hooks on, make sure everything's organized well. Basically doing everything I can right now so I don't lose a minute in practice or during the tournament when I need it the most. You know, that's every minute counts in this sport. Another work day tomorrow, on the road tomorrow night to get to Guntersville, and looks like 15-16 hour drive, something like that from South Florida. Shouldn't be too bad, and leave myself plenty of time to get stuff ready the day before official practice starts. Get out there and hammer on it, find some fish, man. I'm pretty excited. We'll see if they'll bless this rod. This is how I find out if I'm going to catch which one to use. Okay, this rod's good. No crying. Oh, he likes that. Okay, I can catch him cranking. I don't know if this breaks the rule of getting information or not. Can we catch him finessing? No, not gonna catch him finessing. Put the spinning rods away.
No, Uncle Joe.
What about a jig? Can we catch him jigging? Nope. Put the jig away. He wants the crankbait. How about a wiggle worm? Oh, rattle trap. Rattle trap. No rattle trap. Just the deep crankbait. 1, 2, 3, 4. What you got for me?
Looks like a propeller here.
That's me. Nice. The boat can't go anywhere without that. There's Marine hooking me up. Uh-oh, what do we got here?
For you too.
Oh, looks like a tournament jersey. We're cutting it close. We're down to the wire on all these packages. It's like Christmas in, what month is this? January? It's Christmas in the end of January. We got a tournament jersey from Gemini G2. We got a propeller from Thayer's Marine. And we got an order tackle. That's who I work with right there, folks. Gemini G2, best jersey company on the market. Pretty sweet right there. Short sleeve, zipper. Look at that. Oh, that's pretty. What else? Got the long sleeve. Nice. And what else? Look at that, huh? Sweatshirt. I'm going to get some use out of that, too. Awesome. What a great day. Hey guys, Joe Holland here. I'm going to show you how easy it is to change the prop on your Evinrude G2 motor. So I'm messing around with different props on this to get the boat to go optimum level. Got a brand new 25, sent fresh from Thayer's Marine in Connecticut. 25 breaker. We're going to throw this baby on there and see what this thing can do. The tools you're going to need a socket, maybe a hammer and a screwdriver depending on how the hub comes out, and a pair of pliers for the pin. That's about it right there. Socket, what are we looking at here? 1/16". I just got a breaker bar. I picked it up for $6. Nice rugged breaker bar. That way I can just throw it in there. It's fixed. It's ready to go. So let's get this prop changed out. First thing you're gonna have to do is take the pair of pliers and get in there and get that cotter pin. So the cotter pin's in, it's across, and that's what holds it in. It's your security system basically for that. And what you want to do is bend those back down as straight as you can. You can kind of pinch them together if you can, and then try and do this one-handed. There you go. So it's out. You set it there with the pliers so you won't forget it. And then your locking mechanism. Whoa, don't lose that. That comes out, set it over there. Then all you got's one nut. That's all you got is one nut. So we're gonna get on that. And I usually just put my leg on there like that, if I can, and turn it. And once you get a turn on it, it's usually just finger tight. That's why it's important to have that cotter pin on there. Keep it all together. Then you just grab that prop and give it a little pull. There you have it. So we got the prop off. New props right there. We're gonna need the hub assembly out of here. So it's a two-piece hub assembly. So sometimes they come out a little hard. This motor's got a ton of torque. So what I do for that is I'll flip it over. I'll take a screwdriver. Instead of getting on the plastic part, I like to get on the metal part of it and just give it a tap. Make sure you're doing it the right way. Yeah, I'm doing it the right way. Like I said, sometimes the hubs come out a little bit hard on these things. They got a lot of torque and they're very, very tight. Well, I couldn't find a piece of wood, so I'm just gonna hang it over the edge. There she goes. She's out. So we got the metal part out. Use our socket. There you go. The socket's big enough to cover the back of that. Then she pops out just like that. Push it in, make sure everything's tight. Everything's in there, it's tight, and then just follow the procedure the opposite way. So who's that guy? Is that Dudley?
Who's Dudley? Hi.
Folks, we're in luck. You won't believe this, but we got the David Dudley here. Professional angler, David Dudley. What's up, man?
You live?
No, we're not live. We're shooting a video for YouTube called Average Joe Fishing inside the FLW Tour.
And we're here at Chic-Fil-A. We're Average Joe. We should be at an expensive restaurant, but we're fast fooding it up, right?
That's right.
Because we're rich anglers.
Exactly. See, David's going to give you the inside look.
Right.
You're the first pro on this video other than me.
Trust me. Travel with 5 kids.
I know,
One
yeah.
time, right?
You got 5 kids?
You got 1. We traveled with all 5, so.
Do they all pee at the same time, or are they like, no, it's my turn?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
It
why
was
didn't you just go when we stopped?
a 6-hour trip is not 6 hours.
Yeah.
No, you're not gonna make it. Man, I'll tell you a funny story. When I was, I don't know, maybe 12 or 13 years old, I don't know, whatever, kid, right? We're traveling. This is when you could ride in the back of the trucks, and it wasn't illegal,
Like
right?
the truck bed?
Truck bed. So we had a camper shell on, and we had the little, you know, window up. We're just back there with our pillows and blankets, and we're just riding in the back of the truck headed to the beach on a 6-hour trip. Well, I had to go to the bathroom, so I took a cup, and I peed in the cup, and because of the backdraft, I said, to throw it right out the window, and it went right back out. I mean, it went everywhere. It was pretty bad. I'll never forget that. We knocked on the truck. We said, "You gotta stop this." I had to wipe all the pee all over it. It was horrible. All our pillows and blankets had pee all over it. but I didn't think about the backdraft. That was
Who was back there with you? Your brothers?
no, just my best friends.
Oh, your best friend.
Did they stay your best friends?
Oh yeah, we're still best friends to this day. Matter of fact, we've been best friends since the 8th grade, and
Aw.
I bet you we haven't went more than 3 days since the 8th grade without talking.
That's awesome.
Hey, this ain't your honey. You call Dave Dudley, man. What's up? This is David Dudley. Are you calling me honey? Did you dial the right number? Where's the Cody mine at? Then I got to find
Thank you.
out what y'all doing, so I'm just,
Mhm.
I was
It's got husky eyes, a blue and a green one. He'll show you.
See? Oh yeah. All right, here she is.
Hi, honey. We're just eating. Yeah. Did you need me to have?
Thank you.
Like go or
Who bit my finger? That one.
a raccoon?
That one healed up pretty good. I got just a tiny.
Let me
That's
see
all
that.
I got left.
Okay, hold on
That
just a minute.
is
How did you
that.
get that?
A raccoon bit me. We were coon hunting one night, and we knocked a coon out of the tree. We shot
wanna
it
go
out of the
play in
tree,
the
hit the
kids'
ground,
area?
and the puppies and the dogs were fighting it. Well,
Let
I
me
thought
throw
they
this
had
stuff
killed
away
it.
first.
So in order to train a puppy, you have to take the coon, you rub it on the
You want any
tree,
more
and hang
chicken
it up in the
bites?
fork of a tree.
Another
Well,
little
I
bite?
thought he was dead.
No?
I was going to train my
You're
puppy,
full?
so I
More
threw
juice?
it up the fork of the tree, and he wasn't balanced right. So I kind of tried to balance him a little bit better, and evidently I took my finger and stuck it right in his mouth, not knowing it, and I felt real sharp pain, and immediately when you feel pain, you like, and I jerked, and when I did, it sliced it open.
Man, your hands are taking a beating, David.
Yeah, then I burnt my hand.
Those are kind of important for your job.
Yeah, that's what the guy was.
I got incredibly lucky. I can't even tell you how lucky I am. So here I was fishing out of an aluminum boat that sunk all the time. You know, and I was holding my own. I was doing well. I was winning some tournaments. I was cashing a lot of checks up there and doing well against the other guys in Maine that all had like nicer boats and nicer equipment than me. And you know, none of that really matters. But I caught the eye of a great friend of mine, Mark Osgood, who's one of the best fishermen in the state of Maine. He's probably won more tournaments in Maine than anybody else I know. And Mark and I, you know, we fished against each other a lot. Mark always had the best boats and the fastest boats, and I always had the worst boat and the slowest boat. And you know, he and I, we're both pretty easygoing guys. And one day we almost got into a fist fight on the water. It was awesome. It was, man, my buddy Pat held me back and his buddy Norm held him back, and I don't know how, but we beat him to this spot on my favorite lake, Damerscott Lake, and I could go about 25 miles an hour and he could go about 80, and somehow I beat him to this spot, and boy, we butted heads over it. Well, I didn't know that they'd won like the last 11 tournaments in a row on this spot, and they were just playing possum, sitting around the corner waiting for all the boats to go by. So they were waiting for everybody to go by. Everybody kind of ran by, and they were hiding around the corner and keeping an eye on their spot, and all of a sudden they hear this wah, you know, a real slow boat coming, and it's still coming, and it's still coming, and they're like, well, maybe we'll wait until he goes by. And they just hear me, wah, and it's getting louder, and it's getting louder, and then they hear it shut off right on the juice. Crazy spot to find. I don't know how they found it. I still don't know how I found it. It was just luck that I found it. And boy, we got on our trolling motors together, and we might have butted noses, we might have butted heads. It was throwing jigs at each other. Didn't go over too well, but that's kind of how I started with Mark. And then, you know, over the years, we became really great friends. And Mark I think he saw that passion and that desire in me, and, you know, saw me doing well with less. And he reached out for me to some boat manufacturers and, you know, said, hey, get this guy into a boat. You know, I think he can do it. I think he can make it. he'd be a great representative for you. And nobody bit, and nobody, those days are past where it's easy to get sponsorship. Those days are gone. And Mark pretty much said, well, if you guys aren't going to do it, screw you, I'll do it myself. And he did. And one day he called me and said, hey, I'm coming over. I got a boat and you're going to fish. And man, it was the best day of my life. And that was like a huge lucky break for me. And when it happened, I was as ready as I could be. And it changed my life. And I would not be here today if it wasn't for Mark and April Osgood. He says I would have made it eventually. I don't believe it, man. It's such a hard game. It's such a hard challenge to get up here. And maybe I would have, maybe I wouldn't. You never know. It's hard to, you can't really say one way or the other. But I do know without them, I would not be here today. And they really sped up the curve for me. And he's been with me. They've been with me since day one, and the support I get is just absolutely amazing. So, you got to have the passion. You got to gain the experience. You got to learn as much as you can, and you got to catch a break, or you got to get lucky, or something's going to go your way. And if you have that hope and desire, and you don't have that quit in you, and you're always ready, and you take every chance you can get, and you don't worry about failure, and you just keep pushing on, it's going to happen. You'll be a pro. You'll be a tour pro angler, and you can get to whatever level you want, and you'll be able to achieve it if you have that desire and that drive.
In a half mile, merge onto I-75 North.
All right, so we made it to Guntersville late last night. Got an awesome night's sleep. First thing I think I'm going to do today is head over to the Wally World and get a little bit thicker blanket. It got a little chilly last night. It's temps right now are in the 20s here in Alabama, high 20s. Just a little bit chilly, so it'll be a little bit better sleeping if I pick up another blanket. Heck of a lot cheaper than hotel rooms, I'll tell you that. And man, I got to pinch every penny I can. It's getting tight right now. Game plan for today. I showed up early, so I got the whole day to work on some stuff, get ready for first day of practice tomorrow. So I got a couple things I want to mount on the boat. I want to shoot a bunch of sponsor videos, get some good content together, and then all my rods and reels are done, all my tackle's done, so I just got to tie up some lures and just make sure all my drags are set right and the magnets and everything are set pretty good, and just make sure everything's good to go so I'm not wasting any time tomorrow, first day of practice on the water. And then, man, that's about it for the day. Just, good little off day, I guess, before practice, which is pretty rare. And then while I'm waiting for the sun to come up, I'm going to get on my Navionics app here on the iPad and just try to see if I can find some more areas. It's definitely a little colder here than I was expecting. I think the fish have pushed back from the spawn. They're not ready yet, obviously, with the cold temps and stuff. So I'm going to be looking. I'll start looking at the spawning areas on my maps here on the Navionics. It shows like the depth chart and everything else. And then I'm going to look outside from there. So I'm going to try to find some ditches for the ones that are starting to move in or maybe get grouped up or held up in the ditches outside of spawning areas. And then I'm going to look outside of that for humps and drop-offs and, bluffs or corners where they might stack up on those too. And then the cool thing about the app is you could actually drop pins on those areas. So, something like that, I could drop a couple pins on for an area, then I could transfer it over to my Lowrance's in my boat or just bring this with me and on the water actually go check out those spots and stuff. So while I'm laying here in bed, waiting for the sun to come up, I'm actually doing homework and working on the tournament and trying to find some new areas to fish and better areas. And maybe, you never know when you find the winning area or the winning spot, as you're doing it. But when you look back, I might have found it laying here in bed waiting for the sun to come up. That's how cold it is right there. We got frost. Let's put 2 L's in there just in case. What down that